All right. Today on Cooking with Steve and
Lauren.
we're going to be making some meat on the grill, some chicken, and some pork chops. We're also going to be making some mashed taters. I'm going to show you guys how I do it, the ratio, and all that good stuff, and some ingredients to put in there that I like to do. And of course, as always, you can make your own adjustments or your own kind of ideas. But anyway, I'm gonna teach you also a little side piece here, a little side note. Teach you how to juggle. So I don't know why I'm doing this, but this is fun. And the reason why I came up with this is because I learned how to juggle in Portugal from one of my cousins with potatoes. So I'm like, oh, Lauren, I'll teach you how to juggle. So here we go. You start with 2 potatoes in your non-dominant hand, which is my left hand here, even though I'm kind of ambidextrous. But you start with 2 potatoes or 2 balls, whatever, in your non-dominant hand, and 1 in your dominant hand. So whenever you throw it up the first time, your dominant hand is what's catching. I don't know. I guess that's why they say that. So if you start like this, you catch it with your dominant hand. You just kind of start like that and catch it, and get used to catching it. But then you start doing it 2. So you start throwing 1 and throwing the next one. That's like the next step. So you go like this, 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 like this. Now they're all different weights, different sizes. So it's interesting to kind of learn how to adjust those minute adjustments to like get them to fly the same height every throw.
Wait, do it again?
So
like this,
like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, but now once you can throw, like the whole concept of juggling is throw before you catch. So if I throw this one, before I catch it, I have to throw this one. Get it? So throw, 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 throw. But watch this hand, my right hand. You have to throw before you catch. So if you want to go like this, whoa. If you want to go like this and practice with one hand, that's another way to do it. If you throw before you catch, then you always have something in the air. You always have something in the air. Now, I'm not that good at juggling, but I'm gonna try. All right, these are different sizes. It's so hard. So, I'm not an expert, but it's just fun.
I'm gonna try.
Oh, see, but your instinct is to just catch and not throw before you catch. So you end up stopping and going, oh wait, I have everything in my hand. So if you can learn to throw before you catch, then you're gonna do more of it. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Let me try one more time. Got it.
Ooh, that was nice.
Boom! Sideways. Okay.
Okay, my turn. Okay.
Here she goes. All right. So try it with
Pick
one
the
hand at a
smallest
time.
Okay.
So
Wait,
just
you said-
throw it in the air, and then before you catch it again, throw the next one.
Right.
Keep throwing the next
You
one, the next
said
one.
1 in my dominant hand.
1 in your dominant hand and 2 in your non-dominant hand. Okay? So throw that to your right hand, and before you catch it with your right hand, throw the one in your right hand up to your left hand. So left hand first, throw it up, and then, yeah, something like that. Throw, catch, No, you threw 2 at once. Let me try.
I feel like only the person with the brain that can drive a manual transmission can do this. Because it's
No.
like you could do all these things at once, and I drive an automatic. It's okay.
Hey, maybe you're better at mashing them.
Mashing it. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, alright.
Okay, so these are our pork chops. We put what kind of salt? It was sea salt
Yeah, I think it was just rock salt.
Rock salt.
Kosher rock salt.
on them.
Kosher salt.
And we let that sit, and now I'm gonna wash off all the salt and then marinate the pork chop in Corona
And
Italian dressing. Or
the easy way out is to do Italian dressing. But I'm not really an easy way out kind of guy. I like to put my own ratios of flavors in there, depending on what I want to taste opposite the other part of the dish I'm making. So if I'm making like rice with some baked beans mixed in with the rice, then I might make something that's less sweet on the meat, because you have a lot of sweetness in the baked beans or pork and beans, whatever you call it. If I'm doing something where it's like just straight rice and no other sweet flavor, maybe I'll throw Italian dressing or barbecue sauce or something sweeter on the meat, so you have like the sweet, the tart, the veggie, whatever mixed together. But again, it's cooking, folks. You can do whatever the hell you want. Just don't do anything too extreme. You know, don't put too much salt, too much garlic, or too much whatever on it, and you don't want any flavor to overpower. You just want the flavor to be there. So just remember that. You don't want to put like a giant fistful of anything, obviously. So if you just put a sprinkle of this here and there, you're fine. And then towards the end, you kind of taste it along the way. Your tongue will tell you what to add or what you put too much of, and then you could try to mask it with something else. Sometimes things like adding flour to something where flour takes it away, or if you add sugar to like spaghetti sauce, all the bitterness of the tomato can come out if you add sugar and then cook it off. You know, so there's so many ways to figure out what you want to do. If your mashed potatoes are too watery, you know, you can cook them a little bit and let the water evaporate till they get thicker. There's so many ways to play with the food to make the result that you want. So besides this laborious explanation, I hope you guys have a good day. Okay, great. All right, time to cut the chicken. Now, this is a big mystery on Earth for some reason, learning how and knowing how to cut chicken. When you buy them from the grocery store, they come as just boneless, skinless breasts. You could buy them in 2 to 4 to 8, whatever, depends on what crazy giant store that you go to. But when you buy them, usually they are about this size, and you're going to notice there's some markings on them. You see this white line right here? This is like a tendon, or like a whatever you call that, and it's hard. So when you bite into this, it has a little bit of a snap to it. Most people don't like that feeling. Sometimes when you look right here, you still have some of the joint that's in here, and people don't like biting that either. Plus there's some fat here. You're gonna see some fat from the skin still here. I like to cut that off. Some people, like let's say you're making a chicken soup or something, this just kind of melts right off and it turns into broth. But because we're cooking them on the grill, you don't really want this to be, you know, on it. So what I do is I go here, and you see this line, I cut along this line, and I make sure it's completely flat. I cut along this line straight, okay? Now the line is here. How do you cut it off? You're over here trying to slice it off. No, you just put it flat like this, and then you give it a little slice like that. Now you see the line is still there, but I've cut it off. And there's a little bit of meat that's, of course, attached to it. Don't try to make it perfectly exact. You're not a surgeon with a scalpel, okay? You're just kind of cutting, you know, close to the line. Now, what you do with this stuff is you do not throw it out, folks. You don't waste food. You put this in a bowl, blink, for your mom to make chicken soup later. Hello? If you don't live with your family like we do, then you can go over to their house and give them a nice little saran-wrapped bowl of chicken pieces, and they can make a nice chicken soup for you during this coronavirus season. But anyway, another tip is, speaking of tips, you see over here how this tip is pretty pointy here, and even over here on this part, the tip is very pointy. This should also go into your scrap meat bowl, because this will burn very quickly on the grill. It's a waste of chicken. So what I do is I cut this right here, and I have it, even though this is perfectly good piece, I cut this off so it just doesn't end up burning anyway. You ever see like chicken on the grill, you know, like the edges, it's all burnt? That's what I'm talking about. So if you cut it like this, you're not really making the piece that much smaller, but you're making the edge here, you know, cooked nicely instead of just a piece of burnt chicken that you're not going to use anyway. Now here's another line here that you see. Okay, cut that off until you don't see any line. See right here? It's pretty nice. This is nothing. Okay, then I go to this part here. Sometimes you have to feel around with your finger. Sometimes there's a little bone that they left in here from the factory. You got to make sure that there's no bone here, okay, or cartilage or whatever you call it, tendons. Now I'm gonna cut this part off right here because I see there's like some tendons here. You see like this fat that's right around the little ball joint. I just cut that off, put it on the side, so you know 100% that it's the same color as the face. See that? There's no other tendons there or anything that could kind of snag if you bite on it and it doesn't feel nice. And then you start wondering, oh, what's wrong with my food? Oh, is there a bone in there? Now anyway, if you are making like a chicken cutlet or something like that and you're kind of frying it, I like to fillet these. So I go like this and I slice it directly down the middle. I keep going like that and I go all the way through. So now this becomes 2 slices of chicken. But because I'm putting it on the grill is like a very dry, radiant heat. So if I filleted it sideways like that and I made 2 thinner pieces, then it's easier for your chicken to be really dry when it comes off the grill. Not worth it. So I like to keep it thick like this on a medium heat. So when you take the chicken off the grill, it's still very juicy inside, but it has that charred outside. Yeah. So this piece is done. You see there's a little bit of fat on the front, but that's fine. This will melt right off. This is not even a big deal. Next piece that I just cut off of that, it looks like this. And you just kind of look around, feel around. Okay, you can't be squeamish. You have to get around. You have to touch the meat. Okay? There's a little tab here that I know will burn off, so I'm going to cut this tab, put it in the scrap pile. The other side has a little pointy end. I'm going to cut that, put it in the scrap pile. And then all these scraps turn into a beautiful chicken soup that actually has chicken in it and chunks of chicken. So you're actually making more than just this one meal from it. All right, here's another one. This one's actually a little bit bigger than the other one. Okay. So you cut off anything that looks ugly. That's basically what I'm saying to you guys. Any tendons that you see, cut it off. Oh, see, sometimes if it's straight tendon like that, I cut it off and I throw it in the garbage. The only time you throw it in the garbage if it's straight fat, if it's just white fat, or if it's like a tendon or something. Because even in the chicken soup, you don't want it, because that won't melt off. So here we go again. You kind of spread out the bottom a little so you know it's flat. Slice it along the line. Cut off the little tip that's going to burn anyway on the grill. You're safe for now. Feel around here to make sure that there's no bone that they left at the factory. So many times I've seen a little piece of bone stuck there. So what I normally do, no matter what's here, because there's like a white section of cartilage, I kind of just cut that anyway, so I know for a fact there's nothing there. Sometimes, here it is. See, there's a little ball right here. See if you can catch that with the camera. There's a little ball here of like harder cartilage. So I just cut that whole section off just in case I missed something, you know? Yeah, any little flaps like this that are hanging off from the factory, I just cut them off because they're just going to burn up anyway in the grill. You just waste meat. See this little flap here? This was already like that. I just cut that off. You're going to have more than enough meat on this giant piece. So it's okay if you cut more than usual off. See a little flap here? Just cut that off. And the more you cut off, the better your soup becomes. That's fine. Alright, this piece is good. Next. Now you see here, I cut this off, but there's still that white line there. Cut that line off. Nice. That line is not really that hard, so that line is actually a really good sight line. It's like the chicken saying, "Here, cut me here." All right, this piece has very blunt edges, so I don't think this has to be cut. because the edges are not that sharp on this one. Feel around, make sure there's nothing hard on it, no little pieces of bone, and you're good. So once you do all that, then you marinate your chicken with all the good stuff you want to put. Salt, pepper, a little oregano, a little bit of basil maybe if you want, adobo, sometimes lemon juice, paprika, cayenne pepper sauce, and Larry's seasoned salt. So I don't really do salt and pepper on my chicken much. I do Larry's seasoned salt. It's my favorite kind of salt for my chicken. Maybe a little Corona. I mean, it's really up to you. Whatever you want to use, those are my favorite ingredients to use for barbecue chicken. Next, we're going to work on the mashed taters.
Ooh, I'm in.
Uh-huh.
All right, so now we're seasoning the chicken. Put in some lemon juice, and what did you put in?
Lemon juice, sprinkle of adobo, and then Larry's seasoned salt. My favorite salt for barbecue chicken. Just enough to know it's there, not too much. And then some cayenne pepper sauce. Not too much of that either. And then we have, I'm not gonna put any ginger on that. That was already on the pork chops. Parsley's always nice. Give you a little bit of a green flavor.
Paprika or no?
Paprika, we could put a little bit, but really a little bit. Because we already have that on the pork chops. You don't want to have, like, when you're serving two kinds of meat, you don't want to put the same marinade or the same stuff on each one, because then you're going to have, the same flavor. You're not going to have any depth in your dish. We could put some Montreal. No, I think that's fine. It's way too strong. I'm going to put a little bay leaf on here, though. Bay leaf, where are you? Here you are. Put the sprinkle of bay leaf. Okay, put a bay leaf in there. Give yourself some super green flavor. It's almost like a tea leaf kind of a flavor. And a little bit of olive oil, just so they are smooth on the grill. Also going to coat the grill with olive oil today because I haven't done it in 2 or 3 cycles, like grill cycles. Putting olive oil on your grill really helps because it not only helps, it prevents the meat from sticking to the grill when you try to flip it over, but it also prevents your meat from burning because the olive oil it kind of supercharges the skin or the face of the meat because olive oil has a higher burning temperature than the face of the meat does. So it kind of coats it and protects it. Leave me alone. Did I put basil? Did I put basil on there? Put a little basil in here. Maybe we could chuck a little basil in here.
There's no basil in the pork chop, and also
just a hint.
Basil is being added to the chicken.
Just a hint. Now it looks like I put a lot on there, but I was using the small holes, not the big holes. And I think we're good. I mean, maybe pepper. Put a little bit of pepper on here. Remember, this is all going to be like, I'm not even going to put Corona on here, but this is all going to be just like a marinade, whatever. So you're going to mix it all around and all that, but then when you're picking it up out of the marinade, a lot of the stuff falls off. So only a hint of the flavor is going to remain. If all the flavor in your marinade stuck to your meat, it would be like, ugh, too much flavor. Anyway, next is the mashed taters. Okay, we're gonna just put a little bit of barbecue sauce, because I just felt like putting a little bit of Sweet Baby Ray's Sweet Vidalia onion barbecue sauce in it. Just a little hint today. Just a little. That's all you need. If you put too much, it's just gonna become like barbecue wings, and you don't want that. And then maybe we can do some vegetables, maybe. What do you think on the side? Maybe carrots. You can steam carrots.
Ooh, do you ever make carrots on the grill?
Yeah.
With barbecue sauce?
No, that's crazy.
It's delicious.
We have barbecue sauce on our chicken though. Gotta be careful with having 2 sweet items.
Ooh, but sometimes you just need a little.
We want sweet Salt and fat. That's what the body, the taste buds, that's what we want. That's how McDonald's makes their money. Because they give us the sweet from the ketchup and the mustard and the pickles. Right? Think about like a double cheeseburger or a regular cheeseburger, the dollar menu. They give you the sweet with the ketchup, mustard, and the pickle. The salt with the salt, you know, where the salt is everywhere, and the meat and all that. And the fat is everywhere else. And the carbs, you know, with the bun and everything. It's horrible. That's why cooking at home is better, folks, because you can be healthier and you know what's in your food. You just don't really know where the meat comes from, but you know what you're putting on it and in it and around it. This is going to be like a 1 hour long video. I don't know. I feel it. So in this case, the lemon juice is like the watery liquid. In the pork chops, the Corona was the watery liquid, which gives you the malleability and the mixability to mix everything around. If you put just dry ingredients on this, it would be hard because you have to be rubbing each piece together because the powders and everything would stick to each piece, and it would be an uneven mixture.
Don't be afraid to get dirty.
All right, you just kind of dig under there and like fold them over each other. Yeah, like that. Yeah. And you do this for about 5 minutes straight, just so you have even distribution. All right, now that we've mixed it around for approximately 2 to 3 hours. Minutes. Now that we mix it around for 2 or 3 minutes straight, everything has been evenly distributed throughout the meat. Now we let it sit here for 20 to 30 minutes, basking in its own ambiance. Check in on our pork chops. They've been marinating, looking quite sexy.
They smell good too.
They smell real good. They smell like coronita.
Coronita.
Yeah, the size of a coronita is the perfect size for marinades. If you use a whole Corona, it works too, but a coronita is just the perfect size to throw in a bowl of meat while you are putting all the other spices in it. All right, now it's time to take these 10 potatoes, well 11, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Take these 11 potatoes and wash them because potatoes are grown, guess where? In the dirt. These are underground dwellers. So you have to wash them off quite thoroughly. Some people brush their potatoes with a brush. I'm not going to be that nice to them. I'm just going to clean them up, peel them, and throw them in boiling water. I know it sounds bad. Anyway, ready? Hup, 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 hup. Oh, it's a big one. Hup, hup. Oh, watch your face. Oh, 2 more. Oh! Oh! Got it. All right, 1 out of 11 ain't bad, honey. Chuck them in there. Watch out. All right. Grab that one. It's all right. We're going to wash them anyway. All right, so just, get yourself some water. And now just scrub each one like you love it. All right, while Lauren's cleaning them, I'm going to steal her water. Oh! What's happening? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling like you just took everything away from me.
Are you feeling at a loss?
A little bit. You told me to, take care of these potatoes like I love them, and now I can't.
Well, you have what, 2 left, 3 left.
3 left.
Yeah. All right. Well,
still bummed out.
All right, there you go. Back in action. All right, so we're boiling the water for the potatoes, and we're going to put some salt and olive oil in the water. I don't know why, but my grandma says so I'm not going to question it. All right, guys. Now it's time to put the potatoes in the bowl and peel them. So, what I want to do is, normally, what's so funny? Is everything okay? All right, normally what I do is, when I peel them.
Oh, I know. You use the peeler. Yes. Is that correct?
Correct. All right.
That's right.
When I peel potatoes, normally, I peel the whole thing. And, you put them in there, you make mashed potatoes, great. But this time, I'm going to partially peel them just so we have some skin left. That's why I wanted Lauren to scrub them like she loves them, whatever. So you kind of just peel every other line.
Stripe it up.
Yeah, like stripes. and something like that. That's all you need to do. If you do that, you'll be fine. Then when you mash them up later, you'll be good. And when you also have these ugly spots in the potato, zoom in here, check it out. You want to cut them out because they don't really mash well and they're kind of tough. They're also ugly, so you want to just take them out. Yeah, any like little pieces there. Always cut away from your hand, because these potatoes, you can slice right through them and also through your finger. So no thanks. All right, what you want to do is make sure that these pieces of potatoes that you're cutting are all relatively the same size, because you want them to cook at the same time. The bigger the pieces, the longer they take to cook. We're going to peel the whole thing because I just don't trust the skin of it.
I like this peeler better. Oh, no.
Yeah, that peeler's better.
Yeah. Okay.
Honey, you crazy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just had to find my groove.
It's a little bit tougher on this sweet potato. However, the sweet potato gets softer than the other potato when you cook it, and it cooks faster, even though it's harder when it's not cooked. Very weird. Once you get your water to a fast and hot boil, it's time to put your potatoes in. Now, the reason why I'm wearing an oven mitt on one hand is because when you drop them in, you don't want the plop, plop, plop of the water to be sizzling your hand, because you're not trying to cook your hand, you're trying to cook the food. So
just to clarify,
when you drop these in, you can do it this way, plop them in, use your hand to kind of stop the flow of them, or you could do it an even smarter way, and you can grab where is it? You grab something like this and put them in gently at your leisure. So you can put them in like this and just gently drop them in.
Oh, that's delightful.
What do you think of that?
I think it's gonna take a lot of time.
Yeah.
I would just dump them.
If you want to be an idiot.
Ow!
Ow!
What? Oh.
Ow! Oh, ow!
Don't wear flip-flops in the kitchen. In the kitchen.
And don't wear flip-flops in the kitchen.
This is why you don't cook with your shirt off, like you mentioned in a previous one.
And also don't cook with your shirt off. But anyway, folks, like I was saying, the best way to place your potatoes in boiling hot water is to pick them up with something wide like this, or even just a serving spoon. It can be anything but what I just did. Like this, anything. Pick it up, put a bunch of them on there, place them gently in the water, let them go gracefully, and you've placed your potatoes in there. Now, while I clean this mess up, we're going to turn the grill on, preheat, and put the olive oil on it after it's heated up. And then we're going to start cooking the meat. Stay tuned. Give me that. Alright. Why don't you scrape your grill and rid it of all the crap you cooked before, all the crust you were dealing with. Then you want to throw some olive oil on a paper towel. And folks, don't put olive oil on the grill and then try to wipe it, because it'll fall right through. Put it on here first, like so. Okay? Just like that, like a wee-wee pad. Then you kind of just grab it, and then you go like this. Real nice. Kind of spread it real quick like this, just so it spreads first. Then you go up and down on each rung, whatever these are called, each grilled thing, piece, whatever. Now you have a nice layer of olive oil. Okay? Now you're going to protect your food from burning too much and from sticking and all that good stuff. All right. Great.
Now it's time to put the food on the grill.
Yeah, because chicken takes longer to cook, I'm going to give it the, first burn. Now remember, folks, you got to put the show side down. So the pretty side of the chicken needs to go. The ugly side, which has all the fibers and stuff, goes that side up. So show side down. Kind of slide it a little bit after you put it down. And if you hear that sound, that means that the grill is hot enough. I'm actually going to turn it down a little after I put them down.
Where do you put it on, like medium?
Medium, yep. You never want to put it too high because then the outside will burn before the inside's even cooked.
And you leave the grill open, right?
Leave the grill open until you turn them.
Oh.
Once you turn them, then you feel free to close the grill because it's the last 5 minutes of cooking anyway. Look at that juice. It's good stuff right there. So now you want to kind of give it a little shake so they're kind of not stuck. Next. Now pork doesn't really have a show side. It's pretty much ugly all the way around. Just kind of chuck that on there. Look at that. Juice.
Wow, that smells really good.
You smell that? What does it smell like?
Coronavirus.
No, it smells like.
It does smell like Corona.
Yeah, that's what's
You
on
could
it.
smell it.
Wow, look
I
at
guess
all
that
this.
just overpowers
Yo, these are
it.
so soft because when we kind of put them in the salt, we tenderize them a little.
Oh yeah.
So soft, like they're like flimsy. Wow.
And
What
because they're thinner, right?
what a difference. Yeah.
I like that.
That's fun, right? Yeah. Okay. So now we don't even think, don't even look. Forget you're cooking this stuff. Don't even think about it for 5 minutes minimum. You put your 5-minute timer on your oven or whatever timer you have, stopwatch, iPhone, etc., Android, I guess. And after 5 minutes, you just come and check them. You don't turn them. You check them after 5 minutes and don't close your grill. All right, now it's time, while the meat is cooking and the potatoes are boiling, well, almost boiling, to make the flavor for the mashed potatoes. I'm gonna use 1 onion, probably a whole head of garlic because it's gonna be garlic mashed potatoes. You wanna use a whole head, which is like maybe eight knobs, and some butter, salt and pepper, a little hint of milk, a little parsley. That's really it. So you're gonna saute the onion to give you the onion juices, that sauteed onion flavor. And then at the end of cooking the potatoes and mashing them, whatever, you throw your sauteed mix in there. That's how you make it sexy. Now, when you're cutting an onion for mashed potatoes, because you're not going to really want the crunch of the onion in there, you want to cut them as finely as possible so they basically disappear while they're being cooked in the marinade. Actually, not the marinade, the saute. Don't waste anything. Oh, there's our timer for the meat. So now we're going to go check the meat to see if it's okay to flip. Most of the time it's not after only 5 minutes. But it's good to check it just to see exactly where your grill is in terms of hot spots, cold spots. You can move some meat around. You could turn some flame up or down if you need to. This is the good time to check to see how your meat is cooking. I'm recording. Oh yeah, check the one in the back. Yeah, it's a little bit too much, so we need to put it in the front. You should flip it actually and put it in the front. Yeah, flip this one right here and leave it in the front. Yeah. The back seems to be performing a little bit too well, so we need to move it to the front just so we have even cooking on our meat. Ooh. Yeah. Now put yeah, there you go. Now,
should I flip all of these?
Yeah, flip the back ones because I think they might be. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Flip that. you
Wow,
can-
it makes such a big difference when we put the olive oil on.
of course.
It's not sticking.
That one looks, keep that down. That one, you can put that. Okay.
No.
So now we put these to the front where it's a little bit colder to slow these down a little, because when they cook too fast, they burn and it doesn't taste good. So check the back ones first with the pork. See how that's performing. Quite nicely. You can flip that. See how it's not too burnt? I don't really mind that you keep it back there. Oh, no. Check the front. Front's not bad. Flip that one. See how your grill has hot and cold spots? You gotta be careful, folks, and treat each one with respect. Nope. The middle seems to be not performing on the whole grill for some reason. Easy, big fella. Easy.
Come on, slugger.
Yeah. There you go. All right. That one, you get all the juice out. Don't flip it all the way. You just want to check the bottom.
Crazy.
You know what you
There's
should
like
do
a
now?
puddle of
Yeah,
Corona.
you should leave the juice on. Anyway, keep that there. I guess we'll just see what happens. We'll come back. 4 more minutes, we'll come back. All right, the number one thing that I hate doing in the kitchen is peeling garlic. So what I do is, the one thing I don't mind doing is just pulling it off. Pulling many things off, actually. But no, I'm pulling this off and placing it in a bowl.
Yep.
Now because it's going to be garlic mash, I'm going to make sure that I put a good amount of garlic in there. A whole head of garlic, in fact. So what you want to do is, instead of sitting here peeling this, smash it, peel it. Oh, it's so annoying. Put them in there, put another bowl on top, then you shake the heck out of it. Like a lot. That should be enough. Alright, so if you shake it enough, shake and bake, they all will come out of here and then they will be exposed. Wow, all of them except one came out. I'm surprised. How did this guy survive? We should study his DNA. $6 million man over here. Wow. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna get it. Keep on working harder. Alright, it wasn't that hard to take out. But yeah, so that's how you do it, folks. You see, all these fell right out of their shells. Scared right out of their skin.
Tell us what you're doing.
Now the potatoes are nearly done, and I'm going to show you guys in a second how we're going to check the potatoes to see check their doneness. There's 2 ways to check the potatoes. I'll tell you in a sec. First, I'm going to cut the hard part right here. See this hard part? I'm going to cut that little brown part off because you don't want to chew on that. You want nice soft garlic that you can't even tell is there, but the flavor's there. Oh, almost sliced my finger right there. Garlic is another very dangerous item to cut because the piece is small already, but your fingers are right there. So you gotta be very careful when you cut garlic. Now another reason to cut this small is because when you have the mashed potatoes in your mouth, you don't want any garlic chunks that you bite into and then you get like a big explosion of garlic. It's kind of nasty. So what you want to do is cut garlic as small as possible. And then after you cut these slices like this, you want to cut them into tiny little squares, little triangles, little pieces. The last cut right there, very slowly. So you can go fast with a couple in the beginning, but when you get towards the end, you better slow down to slow-mo like this. Last cut, very slow. Be very careful. Garlic is dangerous. I think garlic is the reason why so many people have cut their fingers in the kitchen more than anything else. Besides a dull knife. Folks, make sure before you cook anything, you sharpen your knives, because a dull knife may not be cutting through whatever meat you're cutting or whatever vegetables or whatever food you're preparing, but it will always, always, always cut through your skin. Because we are such fragile beings.
Okay, we're checking on the pieces
I got it.
that here you go, that we didn't flip before because they were not ready.
Oh, not bad.
Ooh, nice.
I'm gonna put this one towards the back because this little guy shouldn't be back there. He's gonna cook too fast. Put this over here, this guy here. Let's put this guy towards the back now that we've given the other pieces a chance to cook.
To catch
I'm gonna
up.
put this guy back here again. Yeah. See, this
Yeah,
one's
because that's a
pretty
really
nice.
thick piece.
This one might be ready. Yep. Pretty good. This one looks good. This guy looking all bulbous. It's probably
Like a
I'm gonna-
bubble butt.
damn. All right, this guy here. Oh man, he's got to get a trip to the back of the class. Get back of the bus, buddy. We're all still gonna get there, but you got to go in the back here. All right. So this one looks good. Everything's looking mighty fine. All right, so now we're gonna go back inside to finish sauteing the onions, garlic, butter, parsley, what else? Milk, salt and pepper, and etc. that we're gonna put inside the mashed potatoes when they are ready to come out of the boiling water. Now is also the time that we close the grill. Bam! All right, we just closed the grill, and we don't put another 5-minute timer because you don't want anything to start to burn and run away from you when you're out looking. 4-minute timer. 4 minutes after you turned everything, go and check them again. Anything that's smaller is probably coming off the grill at that point because you would have cooked them for 10 to 12 minutes already. So anything small should definitely be done. But remember, when you go and check everything and you're about to take it off, you
Bring a thermometer.
bring damn thermometers, okay? You don't want to get anybody sick in your family after all they've done for you. Anyway, come on. All right, when we last left off, I was still chopping this garlic, but before I do that, I want to put the olive oil that's outside
I'll get it.
in the, no, I think I have some in here. Yes, I do.
Is it really olive oil? Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is.
Put some olive oil in here. Okay, not too much. Just enough to say, hey, olive oil came to the party. But not, hey, olive oil's ruining our party. Because if you put too much olive oil in mashed potatoes, they're going to be like that oily, it's going to be too liquidy. All right, folks, once the olive oil is starting to smoke a little bit, that's when you know it's hot enough to put the onions in. And you should hear a nice sizzle. Yeah, just like that. Oops, I let a piece of garlic in there. Gotta take it out. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
All right, you're just showing off all your fancy tricks now.
Well, it's a non-stick pan. It's real easy to do. Just flick it up and go towards yourself. That's all you have to do. Just
You make it look easy.
Don't go too close to yourself, or you're gonna have your whole arm coated in boiling hot onions. Now, once you threw those onions in there, make sure that the next thing you put is butter, because the onions are gonna cook kind of quickly. Because they got thrown into some really hot oil, since the oil was smoking hot, literally. So you want to slow the cooking process down. You don't want them to burn so quickly before you get the chance to put the garlic in there. And because the garlic cooks a lot faster than the onions, you put the onions first to give them a chance to cook. Then when these super fast garlic gets in there, it doesn't cook too fast. Then you have like unevenly cooked stuff. So now it's butter time. Throw some butter. You're gonna put about a tablespoon or two of butter in there because it's supposed to be buttery, mashed taters. See how they're getting kind of golden brown? Oh, let's check the temperature here. Man, it shows that it's kind of low. Zoom in on this. Does this look like it's the right temperature? Oops. Never mind. Oh, one thing we forgot to do. Bring the bowl out.
We
Oh,
remembered
man.
the thermometer.
We tell people in every video, oh, don't forget to bring your bowl out. Man, blazing hip hop and R&B in here. Look at all this sexy meat. Now let's get our thermometer out. These tiny pieces, you don't really have to put the thermometer in because they're so small. They're definitely cooked. Actually, this one's a little thick, so I want to put my thermometer in this little guy. Actually, I should probably put it long ways to get more thermometer in there.
So it has to be at between 165 and 180.
165.
Right?
165 minimum on the inside. While it's outside of the off the grill for 1 minute, it's got to be 165. Okay, let's check this one. Flying right over it. So when you take it off the grill for a minute, it'll go from 180 to 165 pretty quickly. Let's try one of the big ones, because these are the ones that are the ones that you really don't want to mess up. See, this one's at 170 and change. So you don't really want to overcook them because all the juices are going to come out of them and it just won't taste good. But you see how it's sitting at 180, 10 seconds off the grill. This one's totally cooked inside and it's going to be a fine addition to somebody's dish. Let's check the next biggest one, which is this guy.
So you go through the thickest part.
Yeah, right down the middle.
Make sure the thermometer doesn't poke out of the other side.
Yeah, because then you'll get a low reading and you'll cook it too long. Like, what happened? I thought it wasn't hot enough. So this is 175-ish. Now 10 seconds off the grill, 175, almost 180. After a minute off the grill, it's not really going to go much less than this. So I think this is definitely cooked as well. But the outside is charred enough where you get a nice barbecue flavor on the outside. See how this one is not as dark as the other ones? These you got to be careful with because you think, oh, it's not, is it cooked? You know, it looks kind of cooked. Looks like a medium, but let's check it.
The mistake I used to make was, oh, well, the thickest piece is done, so they must all be done.
That's not true because you have hot and cold sides of the grill.
And you could see like they were all going at different.
As I'm picking these up off the grill, juice is just flying. Juice is dripping from these things. Woo, hot. Wind is blowing the heat on my hand. Yeah, this one's good. Okay, now these are definitely done. The pork is so thin that you kind of go by visual on the pork. You know that they're pretty much done. But my family, we like to burn the pork a little bit because it's crispy. We care more about how crispy it is than, anything else.
Ooh,
look at that
wind
flying. See?
Oh yeah.
Wow, this one's way hot. But on the outside, it looks really nice. All right, this one, I think this one's pretty good. I'll leave it in for a little bit because it's kind of light. All right, let's turn off the other burners.
What about that last one?
The last one I checked. It's not too bad. See, it's not bad.
Oh, so.
I mean, this is pretty much done. I'll take this one out. This one here needs a little bit because I
it needs a little
turned
loving.
it a little. Yeah, I turned it a little bit late. So I'm just gonna turn that off. Close the grill. Hopefully, you just invest in this thing. It's what, $5 or $10, maybe $20 if you want to be fancy. Okay, just buy one. It'll save your family's life. I mean, it'll save them from like salmonella and stuff. I don't know how dangerous it really is, but no one wants to get sick. I put some parsley. Now all this good flavor is going to go into the mashed taters. Now it's going to look kind of extreme because it's like, looks like a lot of stuff is going in here. But really, this is going to be for a batch of mashed potatoes, so don't worry about putting a little bit extra than usual for the size of pan that you're using.
Oh yeah, it was 11 potatoes. So.
Yeah. I'll put a little paprika in there. Just a little paprika. For some color. Look at that beautiful color. A little salt and pepper. Okay. Pepper. Now this is your initial infusion. Of course, you're going to taste the mashed potatoes, so you're going to add, subtract, well, not really subtract, but you're going to add or you're going to mask some things. If something's too strong, you add something that counters that. But for now, we're just going to see how this does on its own. All right, last thing we put is a little bit of milk. Just a little hint of it to make it creamy. All right, now we're gonna throw some peas in there also because we want some kind of veggie on the side. And we're gonna use our trusty strainer. Now this is pretty quick because the water's very shallow. So I'm gonna put it over here actually. The water's very shallow, so it's easy to boil this up real quick.
Peas. Open the bag of peas. You have water in there, the strainer, and then you just place the peas in here, right?
Yeah.
The whole bag, right?
Yes. Note to self, use a scissors next time and cut the entire side. So you're not sitting there looking for peas hiding in the bag. You like sliced it down the middle. You sliced it down the belly of the bag,
I don't know why.
you beast.
It's okay.
Jeez. All right, so we have the saute finished, nice and thick, ready to go into the mashed taters. You see here, they should be done, but how do you tell that they're done? Hold the camera, please.
Sure.
You grab a fork. Good old trusty fork. And you grab one, and if it falls off the fork, then it's done. See how it fell off? Pretty easy. Another way you can test them out is you pick it up, you put it over here on your cutting board, and then you push down with the fork. If it goes through like that and turns into snow, look, mashed is very easily, then your potatoes are done. So these potatoes are done. Now it's time to mash the potatoes and add our saute flavor flav that we made on the side to the potatoes. So what I like to do is I like to take half of it like this and put it in there, and then you want to add it to taste. You don't want to throw the whole thing in there and then you have way too much flavor in it and it's just too garlicky, too nasty. Okay, so you want to see the nice oil that's in there too. It's gonna, well, put half of it in there. Maybe a little bit of oil too. Nice. Okay, then you keep the other half on the side. Taste it after you mash it, and if you have to add more, then you add more.
Smart.
Hulk smash! It's smashing time. There you go. Up and down, just like that. Yep.
Leaving all day to do this.
Yeah, I know. We're probably gonna add a little bit of milk to that to make it creamy. Now it should be nice and chunky. It should not be smooth like a puree. You want to have some kind of chunk in it, and the potato skins help with a little bit of the texture. All right, now go in a circle. Try to get it, yeah, we might want to add some milk because it's quite dry, which is good. Okay, just a little drop of milk. Good, good. All right, now mix it around. Nice and smooth, look at that. We could also add a little butter, like melted on the side, but let's see for now how that is. Very nice. And you don't want to play with mashed potatoes too much because they're gonna get too smooth. You're gonna lose some of the chunk. Oh, I see some chunks in there, you gotta smash. Ooh, got him. There you go. All right, looks cool. So now I want you to give it a taste with a spoon or a fork.
No problem.
Oh, I know you don't mind the taste part.
Who would mind that?
All right, what do you think? Does it need more or less flavor? You decide.
I actually think that's a perfect flavor.
Perfect?
Maybe a little bit of butter.
But it's good?
It's really good. Yeah, you want to try it?
Yeah, I do want to try it. Ooh. Let me see. Yeah. That's damn good. I do want a little bit more though. Yeah, I think that's just enough extra. Now mix it around.
Oh, the flavor's so good.
Actually, a little more water. Put some water real quick. Just put like a. There you go. Thanks for joining us today, folks. By the way, see, there you go. A little more water, just so it's.
Yeah, that makes it good.
Yeah, you don't want it too thick and chunky because then it's not even fun to work with.
And this is fun.
Yeah. Just go in circles, big, like really hard circles. There you go. Nice. Now smack it out of the whisk, whatever you call it. Yeah. You don't want that chunky stuff to stay in there, then it doesn't get mixed. All right, keep going. I do taste the potato skins a little bit too.
I like
It gives you like almost like a dirt flavor. Hey, people eat potato skins at TGI Fridays anyway. All right, we need do we need more water or anything or no? Let's see. This is the test that you do. So get a fork that's right next to us, right here. There's a little fork there, or whatever, or spoon. Yeah, get a spoon.
This is a spoon.
Pick it up.
Fish.
Pick it up and see if it falls off the spoon. It doesn't.
Am I supposed to shake it?
It has to fall off at some point within like 5 seconds or so. So we need a little bit more water.
Nice.
The same kind of squirt that you did before.
What'd you do? Like that?
That's it. Done. Now that should be just enough water to. Oh wow! Be careful, man. Jeez, now we lost water. By the way, folks, cooking is messy AF. Alright.
Okay,
I think that's pretty good. Taste test. Taste it and see if the consistency feels good. Go ahead. Tell me how the bite feels. Does it taste like really good mashed potatoes to you? Consistency, texture,
I wouldn't
flavor.
put any more water in it. Then
No?
they'll be thinner, right?
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, no. Here, try it. Here.
Okay. How? Oh! Woo!
Wait, the pork chops. Sorry.
Oh, whoops. All right, what do you think?
Thumbs up.
Perfecto. Let's check on these peas.
Voila.
I mix them around. Yeah, we're almost ready. Like 2 or 3 more minutes. Anyway, folks, this is basically the episode. Oh wow! All right. Basically, we have concluded our video. What do you want to say to the folks at home watching us?
Thanks for watching. Make something, record it, and we'll try to make it. Yeah, we should do that.
No. Yeah.
Okay, hold on, let me do this right. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed cooking with Steve and Lauren. And, hey, why don't you try something? Try to cook something and make a video, and Steve is better at this.
Yeah, that's why I do videos,
Yeah.
and you're the videographer, honey.
Let's switch.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, folks. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make your own comment on this one. What should we add, subtract? Maybe you can add or subtract something of your own. Maybe you have grandma's secret recipe in a trunk in the attic somewhere and you can bestow it upon us and we can try it. Something like that. But anyway, we're going to take a picture of the final dish for you. So stay tuned for that in about now.